when you look at where Boston is, there's so much with Porzingis, and we'll get to playing against his former team in a sec. But just to have him on the court for Boston, what does that do? And Olden, I understand it may not be all roses considering the absence that he's had. What do you expect from Kristaps Porzingis in Game 1 Thursday night?
Well, I think it's going to be slow moving for him because that calf issue, the reason he was out for so long is because that could easily turn into an Achilles issue. And so they had to really monitor that. But it's like he won't be as explosive as he would like, because it's one thing to get ramped up for a game in practice, and it's another to actually be in that game. But if he does do anything, it's going to be that, what he's done best, that rim protection. He's a great shot blocker. I mean, he's 7'3". Great shot blocker. He can knock down threes. He's a really good rebounder. So he gives them a component that they didn't need, because the three teams they played, they suffered major injuries to three of their stars, each one. So the Celtics had a nice, easy road, but, he's definitely the missing piece for them if they want to beat the Dallas Mavericks.
That's what I felt was so difficult to analyze, and I am actually surprised, even though a lot of the news was that he was trending, and then Joe Mazzulla tried to play coy late last week and saying that he was doing this and that. You have 7 games left in the season, and that's it. And to risk the injury in these 7 games is a risk, further injury. And if something were to happen, it would, at this point of the season, it would likely take him out of all of next year. But you're also then saying that, well, this is the reason why we wanted Kristaps Porzingis for the NBA Finals. So there's this balancing act that you're doing, but I also think it's just the balancing act of this team, whether Tyrese Halliburton was hurt or not, whether Donovan Mitchell was hurt or not, or whether Jimmy Butler was hurt or not. These 5, 6, 7 guys that Boston has had in their rotation now have become accustomed to playing like this for the last month, since at least he went out. So now you're thinking on the fly in the biggest stage, how do we adjust? Tip of the cap if it's just seamless, but I think that there's going to be a few growing pains, at least in Game 1 on Thursday night.
And that's the one Dallas is going to try to get and should get, because there's going to be that growing pain. It's like, okay, now somebody has to, move out his normal rotation that we've had for 3 series. And so to me, that's going to be the key component. And whether Mazzulla can, pull the right trigger or not, I don't know. And we're going to see. But that first half of the game on Thursday is going to tell us a lot about the Celtics.
Porzingis told us a lot about his injury when he spoke earlier today.
I'm feeling better each day. It's been a long process, I'm not going to lie. It's been tough to sit out, obviously, but we're here now, and I'm feeling much better. I put in a lot of hours to get to this point.
There's also the fact of the NBA Finals. It's a huge, huge stage, the biggest stage that you can reach as a professional. There's also an added adrenaline injection because you're playing your former team, one of your former teams for Kristaps Porzingis. This is Porzingis talking about playing against the Dallas Mavericks.
I think it's going to be great. Played there for 2.5 years, and I'm happy for everybody in Dallas in a way. A lot of great relationships I have there, and I cannot say I think they deserve to have some success like they've had this season. And it's gonna be fun going up against my old team, going back to Dallas, playing some games there. So looking forward to it.
Now, Angel Reese said that Kristaps Porzingis is also the reason that they're in the NBA Finals as well, and she doesn't want people to forget that when he was there for 2.5 years, he was also doing all these things. And so when you look back, it's not just one person in Luka Doncic that has made the Dallas Mavericks who they are, that he also had a role in it. That's what Angel Reese wanted you to say.
My God, that's so wrong.
No, but it's on brand. It's on brand. There is a little juice, though, playing against your former team, and when you didn't have the success that you would have hoped in Dallas, because we did think that it could be Luka and Porzingis for a long run. When that doesn't work out, now that team is there. Yeah, anytime you play, when you played a former team, I'm sure there was a little extra. Now you do it on the biggest stage, and they reached a point that you couldn't get that team to you. There's got to be a lot of extra there.
There's going to be extra, but you got to remember something also. When Porzingis was in Dallas, okay, Luka was young, and Luka was like taking some incredibly crazy shots, similar to what he's doing now, but Porzingis couldn't figure it out because he needs Luka to pass him the ball. And so what would he do? He'd get upset and start to pout and everything else. The key for the Dallas Mavericks now is that Luka's still doing some of that same stuff. But PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, they don't pout. It's like, okay, I'm still going to do my job on the defensive end. I'm still going to run. And then when I get the ball, I'm just going to be ready. That's the key. And then you bring in Kyrie. Kyrie doesn't need Luka to pass him the ball. Kyrie can do it himself. That's the biggest difference with the Dallas Mavericks, and that's why I like them in these playoffs.
All right, you're the perfect guy to ask this question. How does this affect Gafford and Lively? Because I feel that Dallas had such an advantage with those two guys, especially if Porzingis is out. How does now the impact of Porzingis being on the floor affect those guys, specifically when Boston's on offense and Dallas is on defense? Are they pulling Gafford out? How does this affect Dallas with the advantage that I felt that they had in the series against Boston down low?
It doesn't affect them at all because they're not jump shooters. They're not guys like Porzingis is a shot blocker, but a lot of it's weak side shot blocking. And if you face him up and you shoot, he'll challenge you. These guys, they dunk the ball.
But the other way around, though, when Dallas is on defense and Boston has the basketball, is there any rim protection? Is Gafford going to be, pulled out from the basket because Porzingis is there? How does this affect them in that way?
It still doesn't affect them because that's the beauty of having this two-headed center. Gafford can be physical, and Derek Lively can go out there and defend him out on top. He's quick enough to move his feet. And so, to me, they have the perfect combination of players in two people, but they become one great center.